Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on Uncorked PA. I'm your host, Missy Wilson. I'm a second generation winery owner at Sutteridge Vineyards, and I'm excited to take you through the vineyards and the wineries of Pennsylvania. Now that we're in the height of summer, what better way to enjoy yourself than to plan that day, week, or weekend traveling throughout the state and enjoying all that Pennsylvania has to offer? This week, we're going to be traveling to the southeast region of Pennsylvania. This region is so diverse, and there are over 75 wineries that you can include on your place to visit. You can enjoy the rural atmosphere of Berks County and the Lehigh Valley, or head further south and enjoy a variety of wineries off of 202 in Bucks County. You can also take a trip to the Brandywine Valley in Chester County, in addition to many other locations. So while we head to the Brandywine Valley this week, you can also include Pennswood, Scalar Estates, Chadsford, and Vala Vineyards in your places to stop. Today we'll actually be talking with Trish Brown from Paradocx Vineyard, which is located in Landenberg, less than 20 minutes from Kennett Square, as well as Nina Kelly from the Chester County Conference and Visitors Bureau. They're going to help us plan a fun trip to the region. So if you're interested in getting additional information on the wineries in this area, or if you'd like to plan a wine outing elsewhere in the state, Pennsylvania Winery Association's website, pennsylvaniawine.com, is a great resource. Also, to start to plan your trip to the Brandywine Valley, you can get additional information at brandywinevalley.com for great attractions, restaurants, B&Bs, and so much more. So the southeast Pennsylvania is extremely diverse. It's a combination of rural and urban areas. You can enjoy visiting vineyards and wineries that have acres and acres of vines, or you can also head into Philadelphia and check out a couple urban wineries as well. It's home to almost 80 vineyards and wineries, and today we're going to be traveling all the way to the most southern part of Pennsylvania, near the Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland border, to visit Paradocx Winery with manager Trish Brown. So thanks so much for joining us today, Trish.
Thank you for having me, Missy.
Yeah, so we're excited to have you on today. For some people who aren't as familiar with the area, Paradocx is really far south in Pennsylvania, close to Delaware, Maryland. Located technically in the Landenberg is your mailing address. So, where are you actually located nearby?
We are in Landenberg, which is almost the southernmost tip of Chester County. So we're located in southern Chester County. We are minutes from Newark, Delaware, and minutes from Maryland. So we get a really great, diverse crowd.
Well, that's fun. So, Paradocx is a little bit of an interesting name. And for those of you who are listening instead of viewing us today, Paradocx is actually spelled Paradocx. So, where did the name actually originate from?
This is one of my favorite little anecdotes about Paradocx. Paradocx Vineyard is owned by two husband and wife teams, all four of whom are practicing physicians. Hence the name Paradocx, from the Latin para, dox. So it's actually owned by four physicians.
Which is pretty amazing. So, they're another great family owned and operated vineyard and winery in Pennsylvania, which we have so many of. And the family you had mentioned to me earlier is actually really intertwined with all aspects of the business, including the labels, correct?
Absolutely. This is truly a family owned and operated business. Both families do live on the farm. We are a 100-acre farm in southern Chester County. And we're very fortunate to have both families living on the farm. And we always take things kind of one step further and try to incorporate family and local community as much as possible. All of our labels are the artwork from Miss Alice, who is one of the owner's mothers. So anytime you see a Paradocx label, it is family owned and operated, and all the artwork is done by Miss Alice.
That's amazing. So you also recently, and by recently, I feel like recent for most people is like pandemic and beyond. You guys went through a renovation to your facility. So tell us a little bit about what you've added on during your renovation process.
So we completed pretty much a renovation of the stave. There's a picture there, which is the whole top of the winery. And we did a soft opening in November of 19. We did a grand opening in February 2020. And then, of course, the world ended in March of 2020. So we are slowly trying to really educate the consumer about what we have to offer and all the multiple pivots that we've done to continue to guarantee a safe, fun, educational experience for all of our guests.
So, like a lot of wineries during the pandemic era, especially originally because there were a lot of things that were mandated by the state that we had to comply with. And then eventually, it's just making customers and staff feel safe. What are some of the things that you guys did differently in order to make the winery work out well and people still to be able to come and visit you guys?
It's kind of that's sort of the $1 million question because all of the wineries in the state of Pennsylvania were pivoting. I felt like it was hashtag pivot for since 2020, even currently, what everyone is doing for again for our staff and for our guests. Paradocx, we are very fortunate to be able to have multiple spaces so we can offer the most intimate of gatherings in a semi private space up to our huge, large, like our concerts and such, where we have hundreds of guests. And that can be in our meadow, which is completely outside. So everyone can kind of guarantee their personal space.
And that's great. And then you also have something that not all wineries have the option of having on site. You have a chef who is with you when you're open, correct?
Yes, again, we're very fortunate. We have a full-time kitchen crew, actually. So whenever Paradocx is open, we are able to serve again. One of our most popular items is plates to share, which is a number of different chef-inspired, locally inspired menu items, and it's plates to share because everybody always wants to share food and pair it with the different wines and their favorite wines. And then we also have a fantastic catering menu if you want to have your local event here. What we pride ourselves on is being able to customize your experience at Paradocx. So we'll give you the template, but we'll be able to build pretty much as long as it's legal, whatever you would like to do.
So, you, in addition to being open for tastings, you had mentioned earlier that you host a variety of different events. So, you have some that are open to the public, or as you had mentioned, you have some catering options available as well to do more of a private event. So, what types of fun things are you guys doing at the Vineyard and Winery right now?
We we are very fortunate to have all the different spaces, so we can host an event and still have our tasting room open for those who want a more traditional winery experience. We do private events, birthday parties. This was a wedding photo shoot. This was an intimate affair for an engagement in our barrel room. And again, we pride ourselves on being able to customize anything you can envision. We do graduation parties, retirement parties, all things of that nature. We do a number of public events, workshops. We have some really kind of cool, unique workshops featuring our local talented vendors in the area. We also we have a dueling piano event, which is super fun with the Philadelphia Keys out of Philadelphia. And then, of course, our summer concert series featuring larger band names as well as local talent. And then, of course, you can never forget the corporate aspect of Paradocx team building workshops, client appreciation, customer appreciation.
So your winery is actually known for some of your unique packaging. So can you hint about like what people can, if they're not familiar with it yet, what unique packaging do you have?
Paradocx Vineyard sells wine in a paint can. It's amazing wine. This is Barn Red. This is one of our best-selling wines. Um, again, label done by Miss Alice, and that is the corn crib, which is on the farm, and it's the oldest building on the farm. Um, a paint can is equivalent to 4 bottles of wine. And once it's opened, it lasts for 4 to 6 weeks. If it lasts that long, it never lasts that long in my house. But if it lasts that long, 4 to 6 weeks after opening. And we have what we in-house refer to as our signature series, which are available in the paint cans. Our Barn Red, our Whitewash, Pale Pink, and our Sangria.
That's great because sometimes you want, it's nice to have a wine that you don't necessarily have to finish the whole bottle right away, and then you have the flexibility of having a larger amount for if you have guests over. So that's actually perfect sizing. I can't imagine that it would last 4 to 6 weeks at anybody's
No.
house, but you never know.
And
So,
it's really fun because a number of guests have sent us, tagged us in photos with the paint cans on the beach and on their boats, and it's just a really fun way to enjoy our award-winning wine.
so in addition to your paint can series, what other types of wines, if people are coming out to do a tasting, what other types of wines might they expect to find in the tasting room?
We can certainly cater to any palate. We have a very large wine list. It's obviously fluid for a number of reasons, but anywhere from 18 to 23 different wines. We have our unique sweet wines, which are really fun and really easy to enjoy, especially on a hot day. For those who like to explore, they're predominantly sweet wines, but they're ready to explore different options, challenge their palate. We have a whole series of semi-sweet. And then, of course, we have our premium wines for those dry lovers.
Wonderful. So, if people want to come out to your tasting room, what are your current hours? Do they need to make reservations for anything? And where can they find all the information online?
We are on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and of course, our website, www.paradocx.com. Um, we do not require reservations, but for larger groups, we do recommend it so we can offer the customer service that we always strive to exceed everyone's expectation. We do offer brunch on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We do recommend for reservations for brunch because that usually fills quickly, and we are open Tuesday through Sunday. We're open till 6, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday. Thursday, Friday, we're open till 8, and Saturdays, we are open until 9.
That's wonderful. So, if you're looking for a later evening out, I stop by after work or, of course, on the weekends. It's a perfect time to enjoy a glass of wine, especially this time of year when you get to enjoy the sunsets over the vines as well, which I'm sure you have some amazing ones that happen.
Absolutely. I mean, and again,
So,
we're a
thanks so
great.
much for chatting with us.
No, I was just going to say it's a great selection for sunset with some wine and cheese and some great wine.
Exactly, and not everybody has the opportunity to have that rural, beautiful feel where you don't necessarily see the sunset without houses surrounding you. So it's a nice, relaxing place to go out and enjoy. So thanks so much for chatting with us today, Trish, and all you viewers out there. Don't be you definitely won't be disappointed when you stop by Paradocx and enjoy either their paint can wine series or just a tasting or some amazing food that they have to offer as well. So thanks for joining us today, Trish.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
Yeah, thanks. So we're spending this episode really talking about the Brandywine Valley in the southeast. But there are so many different wineries and regions located along the southeastern portion of Pennsylvania. And in addition, it's actually one of the regions that has one of the most amounts of wine trails as well. Wine trails are a great way of getting to know the wineries in different regions. There are a variety of different ones, but they usually have marketing all together that you can easily stop from one winery to the next over the course of either a day, a weekend, or the course of a week. In the Southeast region, they have the Lehigh Valley Wine Trail, there's a Berks County Wine Trail, Bucks County has a wine trail, Montgomery County has a wine trail, and then obviously the Brandywine Valley has a wine trail as well. So these are great places to go out and enjoy the amazing scenery and the delicious wines of the region. The easiest way to plan wineries into your vacation. So if you're planning on going vacation somewhere and you just want to have a glass of wine or do some wine tasting while you're in that location, head to PennsylvaniaWine.com and use to create your own itinerary tool. And you can find a Pennsylvania winery close by to wherever you will be visiting. So gas prices and inflation, are they making you a little bit nervous this summer? It's definitely a perfect time to stay closer to home. Pennsylvania has so many options and variety of different wineries, and it's a lot closer than the Finger Lakes to most of our listeners. It's a great time to plan that long weekend away or even that week trip over the course of the summer. And the Brandywine Valley has so many options. I'm excited to have with us today Nina Kelly from the Chester County Conference and Visitors Bureau. And she's going to help fill our itinerary with a variety of attractions that you can include in that day trip or the weekend or even their week-long trip to this region. So thanks so much for joining us today, Nina.
Thank you, Missy. I'm so happy to be with you.
Yeah, so it's starting to get a little bit warmer out, and the Brandywine Valley and Chester County has a great way of cooling down. They have this great thing called Chester County Cheers. Tell us a little bit more about it.
We're so excited that we get to promote these fantastic wineries, breweries, and distilleries in one way here as Chester County Cheers. We just spoke with Trish. Paradocx is a gem. And so many of our wineries through the years now have become an outlet for also our craft brews and our distilleries, conversely, the breweries will have the wineries and such. So it made a lot of sense to us to kind of aggregate this content all together. We used to produce a wine brochure and a beer brochure, and then distilleries kind of felt like the redheaded stepchild. So we really needed a way to put everyone together, and it's really a nice way to let people know how many wonderful assets we have in the wineries and vineyards, breweries, and distilleries.
So, in addition to that, a lot of people know that Chester County has a lot of very urban areas to it, but there's also a lot of agricultural within the county as well. So if people are looking to do something a little bit more outdoorsy, maybe something to do with some horticulture, what direction should they head?
Well, it's interesting that because we're such a great area for vineyards and wineries and brewing with this outdoor component, a terroir, if you will, that also means that we're one of the most sought after places for horticulture in the whole country. We're America's garden capital in Greater Philadelphia. So we really promote, along with our Chester County Cheers, this idea that we're America's garden capital. And really the gem of that is beautiful Longwood Gardens in the area. So you're looking, Nemours is one, Winter Tour, Chanticleer, Jenkins Arboretum. There's just a plethora of these beautiful horticultural outlets. Longwood Gardens is the gem of that, and the main fountain garden is just astounding.
Yeah, and the great thing about Longwood Gardens is people a lot of times think of outdoors and gardening for the summer and maybe like the late spring and early fall when it's a little bit warmer out. But Longwood Gardens is actually open all year round, correct?
It's open all year round. It has every season, including the vibrant holiday season. This summer, there's not only the Festival of Fountains, which began in May, but light installations by Bruce Monroe, which is an astounding, internationally acclaimed artist, having 8 light exhibitions there at Longwood.
That's amazing. So, in addition to the horticulture, kind Kennett Square is actually known for something very special in the agricultural world too. What can people go to Kennett Square looking for?
Well, Kennett Square is touted as the mushroom capital of the world. So the idea that 60+% of the nation's crop comes from this area. So the idea that we really produce more than mushrooms than anywhere else in the nation. Then every September there's a mushroom festival, and on New Year's Eve, you guess it, they drop a mushroom. It is actually a 700-pound, 8-foot stainless steel lip mushroom, but a mushroom nonetheless.
Which is amazing. And it's amazing that this area has really embraced the agriculture. A lot of the restaurants are farm to table restaurants. So if people are looking for some suggestions for where to eat, so they've gone to the wineries throughout the day and now they're looking for something to go and do afterwards and get a nice restaurant in, where are some good suggestions and where can they kind of head to?
There's our mushroom. We're so lucky. The area has still a great amount of BYO restaurants. So we absolutely sell, stop by one of our wineries, have a great experience, pick up a wine, and bring it to one of our BYOBs. Dine outdoors seasonally on our main streets, Westchester, Phoenixville, Kennett Square. You can dine and shop, and many of them have outdoor seating in the street area closed off, sidewalk, and indoor if the air conditioning is more your vibe, and as we get into the cooler months. But that BYO component, we have award-winning BYOs, Verbena, Catherine's, Ontario, the Whip. The Whip Tavern actually has some tapped beers and ciders. However, everything else is BYO. So it's a gem of a little equestrian pub in the middle of horse country. So you really want to try out some of these fantastic, unique properties and bring the wines there.
So when people start planning their trip to the Brandywine Valley, we definitely recommend going to your website, which is brandywinevalley.com. Yeah. What additional information do you guys have on that site that can help people with their planning? We really promote the fact that for these exhibitions at Longwood, we mentioned we're open all year. And some of the year, a broad amount of it actually, you can only, you have to buy timed tickets to Longwood and it sells out quickly. Our accommodations, we have a great amount of accommodations that do packaging with untimed tickets. So we really push on brandywinevalley.com to book those tickets. And again, light installations by Bruce Monroe is really sought after. So, and those accommodations are great. And you want to stay overnight when it's nighttime, and you've been having a little bit of wine and beer and such too. You want to go back to your hotel or bed and breakfast here. There's also a section for other events, a section for dining, shopping, and just inspiration for all the citizens to come and visit, as well as Chester County Cheers. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for all this great information, Nina. And we're definitely looking forward to having all of our listeners join you in the Brandywine Valley this summer. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day. So thanks for joining us as we talked about the Brandywine Valley in southeastern Pennsylvania. So stop by Longwood Gardens in the morning and then head over to Paradocx for a glass of wine and a snack or lunch from their kitchen. Or enjoy that long weekend and include some additional wineries such as Penns Woods and Chadsford. Stay at some really beautiful B&Bs and enjoy the great farm-to-table restaurants that they have in the area. Whether it's the summer or you're planning for your fall or winter already, there are plenty of wineries and great attractions for you to visit. Stop by the Chester County Conference and Visitors Bureau and Pennsylvania Winery Association's website at brandywinevalley.com and pennsylvaniawine.com. The Pennsylvania Winery Association has links to every winery's website where you can check out their specific hours and wines that they have available in the tasting room, in addition to any events they might have as well. So join us next time as we talk about pairing wines with the great outdoors. We're going to give you some amazing suggestions for some outdoor events that you can do within the state of Pennsylvania, and then some great wineries that you can visit that are close by to these places. So enjoy Uncorked PA live the second and fourth Tuesdays of every month starting at noon on either Facebook or on YouTube. And if you can't join us live, you can always watch any of our programs whenever is most convenient for you. Plus, if you prefer to listen to us instead of watch, you can get Uncorked PA on Apple, Spotify, or wherever your favorite place to stream your podcast is. We want to thank the Pennsylvania Winery Association for supporting this program with grant money from the PLCB, and we look forward to sharing some more hidden gems of the Pennsylvania wine world with you next time. Have a great day.